We were going to do a slideshow, but we had some technical difficulties, so we are going to actually watch it in the lobby. It's on a loop, so afterwards, when it's done, if you guys want to check that out, please do so. I'd like to introduce Constabcio Jr. Arnaldo. He will be doing the eulogy for Grumma.
Actually, I correct my brother. My name is Constabcio Realiza Arnaldo Jr. Just want to make sure everybody knows I'm also a Realiza. So thank you all for joining us in celebrating the beautiful life and legacy of Lucia C. Realiza. Grumma, and so let me just spell that, G-R-U-M-M-A, not grandma, G-R-A-N-D-M-A. It's kind of our own word that we appropriated. Grumma, or Nanai, is lovingly remembered for her selflessness, her spirituality, her resourcefulness, her patience, being a fighter, her giving heart, being a godly woman, being faithful, being a teacher, having a thirst for knowledge, kindness, strength, and unconditional love. Grumma was born on December 13th, 1914 in the town San Nicolas, located in the Pangasinan province of the Philippines. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Philippine Normal School and then earned her master's degree where she eventually became a teacher. She married her first and only husband during the liberation of the Philippines during World War II. Grumma left the Philippines, the place she called home, to be with her husband, daughters, and son, and her grandchildren. Because of her many sacrifices, we are all blessed that she was part of our lives. So in this eulogy, I asked the cousins, her grandchildren, to share their fondest memories of Grumma. I asked to give some words to describe her and the life lessons they learned from her. So it is my hope that through their voices and their experiences with her, that we may honor her legacy. Nanay saw value in things that most people didn't find value in. If she saw a penny or spare change in the house, she would ask me if she could have it. Or if she saw it on the street, she would pick it up and save it in her piggy bank. Noreen remembers Grumma appreciating the little things in life. She was happy with who she was and what she was already surrounded with. Although Grumma was not financially wealthy, she didn't own any property. She was the kind of person who would give you the clothes off her back if she could. On special occasions like birthdays or graduations, she would always provide a card and a neat, handwritten note wishing us a happy birthday or congratulations for graduating. When she handed it to us, she would always say, "This is all I could give." Her heart was full of love, and it was a heart that would rather give than receive. Grumma found beauty in nature and used her love of creating rock gardens, as some of us have already kind of found out. Her love of creating rock gardens is one of her favorite hobbies, and as a kid I vividly remember visiting Terrapin to see the gold shells, Grumpa and Grumma. She would welcome me with her trademark smile, followed by a kiss on the cheek, and then she would lead me to the backyard to show off her rock garden. She wasn't doing it to be boastful or braggadocious, but to share her artistry, imagination, and creativity with her family. Her rock gardens were elaborately put together and meticulously crafted. In fact, Drew fondly remembers walking the beach with her, urging him to be curious and to explore, while she would collect shells and other trinkets. Drew later realized that she was collecting these shells for her rock garden at Terrapin, and that little by little, and year after year, she amassed an art piece that was always changing and evolving. Nate also remembers Grumma's appreciation for nature whenever he asked Grumma about the flowers in her garden. She always called them beautiful and gave him the same answer whenever she saw any of her great-grandkids or at the end of church. So in everything she saw, experienced, and heard, that was her beauty. Grumma had a curiosity and desire for adventure. She enjoyed traveling and vacationing with the family and wanted to see what the rest of the world had to offer by immersing herself in different cultures. She traveled domestically and internationally to countries like Germany, Sweden, and Paris. And in Paris, my mom recalls, Grumma gulping a glass of wine and later wondering why she was dizzy and unable to walk the stairs of the Eiffel Tower. Perhaps one of the most memorable trips that our family took was when a bunch of us drove to New York in our old school 1980s hippie-style van. My brother Chris remembers that during the drive, we had to pull over in traffic on the shoulder of the freeway so Grumma could squat and go pee. And guess who formed the wall so that passerbys couldn't see some short, 4'9" Filipino woman peeing? Her grandchildren. But Nanay was also a source of comfort for some of us on that trip. Ned remembers when we were on top of the Empire State Building taking family pictures. At this point, Ned started feeling homesick and missed his family. Then, Grumma pulled him aside, put her arm around him, gave him a hug, and told him, "Me and you will represent the Realiza family here." And Ned recalls almost instantly that homesick feeling went away as if my parents were there. Grumma was a firm believer in education, and this was reflected in her career as an elementary school teacher in the Philippines for over 40 years. Again and again, her students were among the best at the school in reading and arithmetic. In fact, if any of you want to speak to one of her students, his name is Jerry. He'll be glad to answer any questions you have about her teaching style. In addition, Grumma was a strong supporter of our own educations. For instance, Gerald remembers the personal walks when Grumma would pick him up from Woodside Elementary. She was never early or late, always right on time. So I think an appropriate story is when Nat was 11 years old.